Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Angling Spiders. Welcome back, everybody. On today's episode, something a little bit different. Yes, we are going fishing, and yes, I hope to catch some fish. But over the years on our channel, we've had a number of questions related to basically how we make our videos. You know, how long does it take to get the footage? How do you guys figure out where you're going? How much is involved in creating a video for YouTube? And through the beautiful power of editing, it looks like we basically drive out there, start fishing, catch fish, and come home. Of course, everybody knows that is not the reality of fishing. There's a lot of prep that goes into a day of fishing. There's a lot of editing that goes into the videos. So decided I was going to do something a little bit new this time. I'm going to start probably what will be a two-parter on a day in the life of creating a video on angling spiders. All right, so here's how it's going to go, you guys. Basically what I'm going to do is show you my day from start to finish. So from the start of when we're going to go out fishing, today it's just going to be me, all the way through packing up, getting everything ready, the things that we need to take with us, getting out to the lake, deciding where we're going to fish, how long we fish for, how long it takes in between catching fishes, packing all this stuff up, coming home, editing the video, and getting it onto YouTube. So obviously I'm going to truncate all that yet again, but at least I'll show some highlights along the way of some of the things we have to consider. I guess the only other thing I'll say is I just noticed I still have my I voted sticker on. It is a civic election here in Calgary, and I went and voted yesterday, so here's a plug for doing your part. Make sure when you have an election in your area and you're eligible, go out and vote. So to begin with here today, we're going to start with getting ready to go and all the things that I need to do. Now, I've already unloaded a lot of the gear here onto my lawn. I'm getting ready to put it in the vehicle. I keep all of our equipment, or most of it, with the exception of the kayak, down in the basement. And so, to be honest with you guys, this is my least favorite part of going fishing, is getting everything up from the basement, loading the kayak up on top of the van, and getting ready to go. It seems like it takes forever, and yet it's actually a pretty quick process. But when you do it so many times, it just gets really monotonous. We've got the kayaks that came from outside in the kayak storage shed and everything else that I brought up. So I'm gonna very quickly go through with you guys what I have here, and then we're gonna get on the road. All right, everybody, so the next thing we're gonna do is load up the van, as I said. First thing that's going to go in there is this long PVC pipe. Now you might be asking yourself, what the heck is that PVC pipe for? This is for carting my rods in the van. So some of you may have stories similar to me where you've put your rods in a vehicle, something ends up landing on top of them, or something bumps into them and you bust your rods. That happened to me a couple times, particularly in the van when Kira and I are both going fishing. We have a lot of gear, and so I wanted to stop doing that. Easiest way I found is to get yourself a PVC pipe. You can slide your rods inside of this, inside the vehicle, and keeps them safe. We are able to fit up to 4 rods in this PVC pipe. I think this is a 4-inch PVC pipe, so it's been working great so far. Makes a horrible noise. Next thing that we have to put in there is the bulk of our gear. We keep it packaged in one of these Rubbermaid totes. That's got almost everything that we need for the kayaks in there. Our life jackets are in there, our foam padding that we sit on, the sponges, the anchors, the rod holders. Sometimes there's some food in there. Kieran usually likes to keep some honey roasted peanuts in there in case he gets hungry. There's some extra gear in there. Sometimes there's extra pliers, and our dry bags are in there. Our rain gear's in there. So we have a checklist that we used to use. We don't really use it anymore because we're so used to it now, but we used to have a checklist that we would make sure everything was in there before going out. So I'm not going to open that up, but that's what's in there. Okay, the next thing is this milk crate. This has got all of my fish finder gear in it. So got the Garmin Striker 4 unit itself, the transducer on the transducer arm, the battery. I just keep it in here to keep it organized, and it also allows me to carry it down to the kayak. Next up, we got the tackle boxes. I got my tackle box, which got most of my gear, and then I got the small tackle box. This is what I put in the kayak when I go out there. Next up, we got some food and drinks. That's always important. You got to keep hydrated, and there's more drinks in here, and also some food for later. And today, interestingly enough, I've also got the heated food warmer. So inside here, I've got some breakfast burritos or some breakfast croissants, and I'm going to heat them up using this electronic warmer so that when I get there at around noon, these are nice and warm and I can have something to eat. All right, everybody, so just getting some food together. Gotta have food when you're out there. We can't keep the fish, so it's not like we can stop for a shore lunch. So I'm just prepping this morning here. Got a couple of egg and cheese croissants, and then for a little bit later we're gonna make some bean and cheese burritos with some refried beans, some cheese, a little hot sauce. So, and we're gonna heat all of that up in the car warmer, so we're gonna get to use that. Next up, I've got my camera bag. This is my dry bag specifically for my GoPro gear, and extra batteries, extra SD cards, my underwater mount for the GoPro, my selfie stick, everything in one place. So that goes in here. And lastly, what I've got to do is get this kayak up on top of the van, strap it in. I'm not going to show that process. I've actually got another video where we show that earlier from another season, but I'm going to put this thing up there. I can do it by myself, which is nice because the Pelican Mission 100 is so light. And then once I get it strapped on, we're going to be ready to go. All right, you guys, there you go. Everything loaded. Got the kayak up, strapped in. Only one today because I'm alone, but that's why we use that Malone system for the top of our vehicle. Allows for both one or two kayaks. So now that I'm packed up, it's time to get in the van and drive to the destination. Now, interestingly enough, the driving is also a part of this. Again, not going to show it, but where I'm going today, it's about an hour-and-a-half drive. So you always got to factor that into your day. Now, I'm leaving quite late in the day. It's actually late morning already. It's about probably 10:30. Why am I leaving so late? Well, it is a fall day here in Canada, and it's cold this morning. When I got up and started packing up the van, it was about 0 degrees, or what, I guess that's what, 35 Fahrenheit. But by the time I drive to the lake that I'm going to, by noon, it's supposed to have warmed up to about 12 degrees. So significant difference. That's fantastic. And late day temperatures in around 17 degrees, which is a beautiful fall day. So that's why I'm leaving it till a little bit later and going to fish the later part of the day into the evening, because we're going to have the daytime warming. So always got to be considering that stuff. Also checked wind finder before I went. The wind is supposed to be calm today. It is calm right now, so I'm hoping that holds. All right, enough of me blathering on. I'm going to get in and drive. Let's get going. All right, everybody, so I have arrived. Drive was about an hour and 45 minutes to get here. And it is currently noon, as I said it would be when I got here. Temperature's actually warmer than I thought. It's currently about 15 degrees, which is nice. Still a little chilly, but in the end, it's much nicer than the 0 when I left. So the temperature's come up quite a bit. Also, as you can see, the wind isn't really up, which is nice, and I hope it stays this way. It's relatively calm. There's a few ripples out there, but it's a relatively calm day. One of the reasons I wanted to shoot this is we often get asked, how do you guys figure out where to start fishing on a lake? I've mentioned it many times before we go to any location, whether it's new or not, we often check Google Earth just to check the structure of the lake to see if there's any imagery. Google Earth has a lot of great imagery. We also check things like FishBrain to see if people have caught fish in a certain place, at least at a lake in recent months. And then part of it is just driving around the lake. And so today, as an example, I wanted to start at this lake in the southwestern part of the lake. If you're looking out right here, there is some really shallow weed beds that picked up on Google Earth just along the edge of this causeway here. And there's also some drop-offs at the edge of those weed beds, which should be good for holding pike. So that's why I'm choosing here. Now, in terms of where we start, a lot of lakes we go to, we do start at boat launches.
just because of access, but because of the kayaks, we can actually start anywhere that we have access to the lake. Just so happens that this lake has a dam on it, and there's a road here that I can show you that leads onto this dam, as you can see right here. And this road has, of course, like most rock dams, some rocky areas, and right beside the van here is an area that I can easily access and get my kayak in. So I can load and unload here relatively easy, and that's why I chose this place today. So what I'm going to do next is get everything unloaded and get the gear ready. Right before I do that though, as I mentioned before, I wanted to try out today the food heater that I got for Christmas. It's sitting on the floor here. It was plugged in all the way here. And so if it did its job, right now, this has got some steaming hot breakfast stuff in it. And ooh, yeah, that's warm. So I got some nice warm breakfast croissants. My cheese is melted. Oh yeah, we're good to go. That worked fantastic. These are actually really hot. So that thing worked great. I had it plugged in for about an hour. So I'm going to chow down on some food so I can fuel up before getting out on the water. And I'll show you guys everything loaded up before I get out there. Cheers. All right, everybody. So took me almost exactly a half an hour to cart my gear down here. That included unloading the kayak and getting all the gear down here. So what have I got that I put in here to get ready to go fishing? All right, so what I've done is I obviously carted down the kayak and the paddle, grabbed my rubber nets, grabbed all the electronics for the fish finder, the transducer, got those put in along with the battery box, which is just sitting in here next to my seat, in a waterproof container. In addition to that, I've got my dry bag, and in here I've got some supplies. So I've got some additional water in here, I've got some additional food in here, I've got a toque and some gloves in case it gets colder. I've also got my wallet in here so that it doesn't get wet. That goes in here and gets put down in here. And then I've also got my small tackle box with the gear I'm going to try to use today, and my seat cushion. I just realized, see, this is why you go through a pre-launch checklist. I do not have my camera bag for my GoPro, so I'm going to go grab that and then we're going to launch. All right, everybody, so ran back to the van, grabbed my camera bag, and I launched. And so I use the clock here on my Garmin quite a bit. It's 12:33 p.m. So start of fishing basically is right now, and we'll see how long it takes to get a first fish. It could be a while, it could be fast, you just never know. I'm gonna be targeting areas that are 3 meters or less today in depth. Water temperature is currently 13.9 degrees, so it's pretty chilly, but not as cold as it will get as the temperature is dropping below zero at night. It'll get closer and closer to that 5-6 degree mark. So I'm going to put out my lure right now and start trolling. That's my first objective today, is to do some trolling, to see if I can find the fish. So there we go. Toss it out, lock it in the rod holder, and paddle. And we'll just paddle back and forth across this area, see if we can pick up a bite. And that'll be my first test to see if I can find some fish. There, I got a bite already. Did you see that, guys? Hopefully you saw that. That was quick. It does not usually happen that I get a bite within the first couple of minutes. That was a very good strike. Didn't stick, but tells me that there's some fish here, so I guess I've chosen a good spot on the lake. So as I said, before that bite took, I'm going to do some trolling here. I'm going to try to troll through this area, see if I can pick up more bites. Why am I not going back to that spot? I am going to, trust me, I'm going to turn around. But there should be fish throughout this whole area. And so I like to maximize my paddling time, particularly when I'm trolling. And so I'm just going to go across a ways and then I'll go back. And then I might cast into that spot where I lost that fish. So looking good, good start. Water is clear today. The algae that was here earlier in the year is cleared up, and hopefully, like I said, the wind stays the way it is. All right, you guys, there it is. I got my first fish on. It is 12:41, so that took 8 minutes. Helps when you know where fish are. Oh, did I lose it, or is it still there? Can't tell. I think it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. Not a very big one. Not a very big one. But it is the first fish of the day. And there we go. So, that's how it's done. We got a fish on the green and white Len Thompson. As you guys know, my favorite new lure this year. And we got to deliver. So that worked out pretty good. I don't always catch fish that quick. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. 7 minutes is pretty fast, considering I also had a bite in there that I lost one. But some days you get lucky. All right, I'm gonna get a release on this guy. We're gonna get back to fishing. All right, everybody, still got the hook out here. I'm just gonna do a release right here. There it goes. I'll also mention that I think I didn't have the sensor in long enough when I mentioned the water temperature. Now that I've been paddling for a few minutes, it's actually 10 degrees, the water temperature. So it is cooler, it's what I expected. What does that mean? It means that some of the larger fish are gonna be moving their way into shallower water to feed up for winter conditions, because they can tell that winter's coming. So with any luck today, we will tie into a few bigger ones that are coming in to feed on some of the ones that like the one I just let go. So I also today I'm going to experiment a little bit, and I'm going to try, so this is a number 2 Len Thompson hook. Number 2 is our favorite size, but I'm probably going to go to a number 4, which is much bigger. You'll see it. It's about twice the size. So I will troll that around in some deeper water to see if I can pick up any bigger pike. But for now, I'm going to keep going with this one just because it worked. I'm kind of in the zone here. So what I'm going to do is troll back towards the van, which you can probably see in the distance there. And I already picked up a fish and a bite in that little stretch. So let's see if we can do it again. All right. All right, you guys, 12:45. This is 2 minutes after I just said I was going to keep trying. Just got another one. It's another small one. Definitely. Oh, and it came off. Oh, too bad. It's a good hit. But there we go. So I found the area. Very clearly I found the area. And next what I'm going to do, just because I just lost that fish right here, is we're going to cast out a few times right here. Seems like we got the spot. We got the fish. See if we can pick one up on a cast. So this is something that we like to do, is if we get into an area where the fishing is hot, we will sit here for a few minutes and try a few casts. Oh, there's a fish right over there. That's probably a whitefish. Pike don't usually surface feed that much. And so, but there are whitefish in this lake, and whitefish definitely surface feed. So that's my guess as to what that was. You can definitely see here, I'll show you how much clearer the water is right now. With the cold temperatures, the algae is starting to die off, cleaning up the water. So hopefully if I can get some more fish today, which given how many strikes I've already had, I hope that's the case, I should be able to do some good underwater releases as well. When it comes to technique, I will admit that I am a much bigger fan nowadays of trolling than I am of casting. Typically, the only time I'm casting is if it's a real hot spot or I need a break from paddling because I'm tired. But I'll tell you, now that we've figured out trolling in these Pelican Mission 100s, you can cover so much more water. You can get over the fish. Just seems to work really, 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 really well. So you know, I get it. For some certain species of fish, that are maybe traveling in schools, you want to sit there when you find one and keep plugging away at that area. But pike are solitary, and so generally if you get one in a spot, unless it's stacked, which does happen at some lakes, you're not going to get more than one. So anyway, a few more tips there. I'm going to start trolling again and see if I can pick up that one I lost. All right, so turned around and did another pass through here, and just got slammed. Currently 12:55 on my third fish. I think it's a little better than the last one, not much, but a little bit for sure. Oh yeah, this is definitely a little bit better than the last one. This one might get a measurement. Oh, look at this, guys. We got a bigger pike eating a smaller pike. Look at this. Can I get a 2-for-1? Can I do this? I have never had this before. This is super exciting. I got a pike that bit onto my other pike, and I'm gonna try to get him in the net. I got it. Oh my God, you guys. This is the coolest thing ever. I just caught a pike biting my pike. There, he just let go. That is awesome, and that second pike is a good size, you guys. That is really cool. I'm glad I got that on video. That's a first for me. 2-for-1. All right, guys, so you remember what I said about the bigger pike coming in to eat the smaller pike. There's the smaller one, really tiny. One of my smaller pike from here, but look at the bite marks on there. This thing had a death grip on this pike. I think it's gonna be okay. We're gonna let it go here. There it goes. But that just proves it. You know, as I said, in this cooler water, these bigger pike are coming in here to feed on these smaller ones. And look at this big bad boy, or bad girl. Didn't even get a hook in its mouth. I am gonna get a length on this one. I think it's a decent size. All right, now look at this one, you guys. This is the one that was clamped onto it. This is a decent sized fish. So there's my 2-for-1. Oh, he's lively, he wants to go. I'm gonna get a measurement here, quick. Yeah, that is a 29-inch pike that was latched onto that 10-inch pike. I have caught bigger here, but 29 inches is a nice fish. That fish is getting close to 5 pounds. It's probably about 4.5. It's just under because of the girth here. It's not that fat, which is probably why it glammed onto that pike. So that is great stuff. What I'm gonna do next is give you guys an underwater release on this bad girl. That is really cool. I think that's my first ever 2-for-1 in my lifetime. So you guys got to witness that. Awesome stuff. Okay, you guys, so since this is a day in the life, I thought I would highlight some things when they go wrong. I just mentioned for you guys that I wanted to do an underwater release of this beautiful pike, and I would love to, but I left the underwater mount for the GoPro at home. I know exactly where it is. It's sitting on my desk. So I'm not going to be doing an underwater release. Normally, you could also put the GoPro camera underwater on its own, which I could do, but we prefer to put it in the underwater mount because then I don't have to dry it off in between uses, and the water doesn't get in the microphone hole, which can cause audio problems. So that's unfortunate, but it's fine. I'm going to do the release right here. This guy's ready to go. That is a nice fish. And he's just going to saunter off back into the depths. All right, that was awesome. Thanks for joining me on that one. I think it's going to be a good day of fishing, you guys. I thought that was my third fish. That was my fourth, because I got 2-for-1 in a half an hour. So 4 fish in a half an hour. I don't think I'm going to keep up that pace, but it is absolutely a fantastic start. Probably a better start than I've had anywhere other than Eleanor Lake. So awesome. Okay, everybody. So it is now about 1:15. I've only done 3 passes of this bay here. And this was my 3rd pass. I just came through to where I wanted to turn around and had another 3 bites. Pretty soft bites. There's one right there as I'm paddling. So they were softer and they didn't stick, but the fish are definitely in this bay. So I'm just gonna keep trolling back and forth across here because of course it seems to be working. At the moment, all the fish I've caught have been in 3.5 to 4 meters of water, or roughly 9 to 12 feet. Now, I am on this pass back. There's a couple of nice ones just went across on the screen. On this pass back, I am probably gonna skirt into that 3 meters just to see if anything's up a little bit shallower. But I don't want to deviate too much from where I found the fish. So that's the plan. Basically, this is how now the afternoon works. I sit here, and as long as I have the stamina for it, I paddle back and forth in this bay and see if I can pick up fish, and then turn the camera on when I get a bite, or if I actually get one on my line, and hopefully land a few, and rinse and repeat as many. There's another bite. Rinse. There's another one. Well, we might get this one while I'm on here. Pike will often follow the lure for a while, so let's see if this one actually hits it a couple times before it gets its mouth stung too much. Doesn't look like it. Those little taps, though, those are probably small pike, and I've got a little bit of a bigger lure on there, so they might be having trouble getting their mouths around it. But as you've seen on our channel, we do catch some smaller ones from time to time. But as I was saying, as long as I have the stamina to continue to do this, that's basically what I'm going to do, is paddle back and forth across here. And I'll film my catches as we go. And you rinse and repeat until it's the end of the day, or you're too tired to keep going. So you'll see me again if I happen to hook another fish. All right, everybody, same lure. Still using the big Len Thompson #4 spoon. It's had a really good hit here. I don't think it's that big. Just hit hard. It's hit very aggressive, which is good. I think it's relatively small. Yeah, it's been swimming with the boat. Definitely better than the last one. Definitely better than the last one. Yeah, that's not bad fish. Oh, and he's out of the net. Get him in the net and lift the net up. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a good sized fish, you guys. And he's tangled himself in the net. All right, which also happens. It splashed me. I'm sure the GoPro is covered in water. We have discovered that these nets do tangle a little bit because it's not fully rubber. All right, everybody, so that pike rolled up in this net pretty good. As you can see, my spoon is still sitting in the net. So that's the next challenge, is I've got to untangle that, which I can do. But before I do that, I don't want to keep the fish sitting here. So I am going to get it out of the net here, get a measurement, and show you guys this fish. It's very nice. Again, another nice fish. This one's pretty chunky. Again, if they start flopping like that, especially if you're using fish grips, you gotta let them go. Beautiful fish. Hooked him under the mouth. Did a little bit of damage under the mouth there with that big hook, unfortunately. So what do we got here? This one is 28.5 inches. So ½ inch shorter than that other nice one I got before. Still a very beautiful fish. This one I would say is heavier. I could weigh this one. I'm pretty sure this one's close to 5 pounds. But it is not the biggest fish I've caught this year. And so I am not going to weigh it. I'm going to do the release just because I don't want to have to deal with it any longer than I have to. There it goes. That was a great fish. Now, what you won't see is me spending the next 10 to 15 minutes untangling this hook from the net. Maybe less if I get lucky, because sometimes it's just a twist that the fish did and suddenly it pops out. And with this rubberized netting, it is actually easier. It's just a matter of figuring out which way the fish turned to get it out. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing that. I'm going to spare you guys that, and then we'll get back to fishing. Okay, everybody, so been fishing for a couple hours, caught some fish, which is always great. Including that 2-for-1, which was my first ever. Just came in for a break, hydrate, have a little bit of a snack, rest a little bit from sitting in the kayak for so long. So I think this is a natural break where I'll probably call this one for today. I am going to go back out and do some more fishing, so I'm not quite done yet. So I'm hoping to catch a few more today. And then on the next video, I'll show the rest of the fishing day and also how I close out the day, talk a little bit about video editing and how we get all that together. So just want to thank everybody for joining me on part 1 of how we get this done. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll stick around and look for a future episode on part 2. Remember, guys, if you liked the video, smash that like button, hit subscribe. And until next time, good fishing. All right, everybody, I know I said I was going to get in the van and drive, but I forgot. Always remember, say goodbye to your wife and give her a kiss before you go.